Megan likes getting the throwing up virus.
I don't mind it that badly.
Really?
I'm not as terrified of it as Harrison seems to be.
We're all terrified.
We all, Meredith and I, we all agreed that we'd rather have 3 days of a fever than half a day of throwing up, right? You agree with that,
Oh,
right?
I'll take, honest to goodness, I'll take like 3 weeks of fever. I will. I will definitely take 3 weeks.
To not getting sick, yay. It's holding it
What?
like a proper man. Oh.
How's Jensen doing?
Jensen as well. That
How is
is
it?
They're dropping like flies.
Wait, who now? Oh, okay. Okay. And is Margaret still missing? Okay.
Where is Margaret?
Like as fast as people are dropping.
Yeah.
Margaret, she is.
Oh no.
Okay, so that's Harrison predicted it.
She was hesitant about the popcorn, so I told her, watch out, because pop back up.
A toast, please.
Wonderful. Let's not touch them. All right. To not getting sick. To not getting sick.
As more and more people fell prey to the stomach bug, it quickly became apparent that the Alexander family holds a very wide range of medical views, from very conventional to very unconventional, and everybody, in trying to avoid or shorten their stomach bug, tried to start all sorts of different ideas. So we had some of the older generation who were confident that they just needed a Pepto-Bismol, an aspirin, and a glass of ginger ale, and they would feel all better. Then you had all of us who tried lots of grape juice in hopes that something about the grape juice would coat our stomachs and we wouldn't get sick. For some, maybe it worked, but I cleaned up a lot of grape juice tinged throw up from the sides of the walls and the floors of the vacation house later that very evening when all my children went down. So maybe we just caught it a little too late. And then you even had some who were having entire cans of black beans for breakfast because that was supposed to help in some way as well. I was not really willing to go that far, but to each their own.
People are having the stomach bug inside. We have come out to see a rainbow in the clouds. Do push-ups like Uncle Sully was doing. Oh, sit up. Woo! All right, William, you see.
Okay, stay Wolfie. Is it okay that he's sucking on the ball?
Yeah. Run around the table. Go, go, go. One.
I was laying by the pool and I didn't know whether to try to make it to that bathroom or to the bathroom in the bedroom. I said, I'm going to the bathroom in the bedroom. And I made it, and I got the trash can, and it was my friend for a little while until you got sick and you took my trash can away. So then I had to use the night table drawer. It leaked.
Times when I went to check on her, she said she was fine, but that she had fainted on the bathroom floor. She was not fine.
As people began to drop like flies, you would notice people would take a little bit longer in the bathroom or seem a little bit less energized, and you would know they're next. They're getting to go down.
Let us know what it was like to be there during this tough time.
Yeah, it was really horrific. You know, you go from everybody enjoying their vacation, laughing, playing games, watching shows, swimming in the pool, just everybody's happy. All of a sudden, like, silence. And then vomit. And vomit. And vomit. All over the place.
I threw up twice, and then after that, all of the food was gone, and all of the liquid was gone. Then I threw up 2 or 3 more times, and that's just the worst, then you're throwing up. But what are you throwing up? I don't know, but you're still throwing up. You're just kind of going,
I'm sorry. I still have flashbacks of the smell. It was, like I said, horrific. Like, there weren't enough bathrooms. There weren't enough puke buckets. I mean, we didn't have any disinfectant. Like, for being one of the people who was not vomiting, one of the few, like, it just felt like I couldn't stay clean enough. We literally had to clean up vomit with dish soap. There was nothing else.
It was a real bonding experience for those of us whose immune systems were apparently a little bit stronger to hold off for a couple extra days, although we all fell prey eventually as well.
Wednesday night was like a nightmare, something out of a horror film. Like, you're literally, people are dropping around us like flies. We just keep thinking like, I'm gonna be next. How much longer do I have? It was a ticking time bomb.
Well, we were like some of the last people to go down, right? Like about midnight. Almost everyone else was down. I think we were the last like 6 people or something. And my stomach wasn't feeling that great, but I kind of, went to sleep. We went to the movie theater room because we wanted to be separate from everyone else, just in case that would help us not get it. But alas, it did not.
It was the worst stomach virus I've had probably since I was so little. I can't even remember. One time, I crept to the bathroom because I could feel I was a little lightheaded. The next thing I knew, I woke up on the bathroom floor looking at that little white knob over the toilet bolt, and I realized I must have fainted. But I must have been running a fever because it actually felt good to lay on the cold bathroom floor.
We got the little kids down to bed, finished our last rounds, and then we were all like, okay, let's just try to get some sleep. And texting back and forth with the survivors, Meredith and Sheridan and myself, just like, everybody good? We all okay? And it came to my attention that Sheridan was not okay. Not sick, but just emotionally not okay.
I went to my room and it just felt like I was surrounded by people who were throwing up. I knew that if I fell asleep, I would probably wake up and it would be time to throw up, and I did not want to wake up to that, so I didn't want to fall asleep, but also just being awake made me nervous. And
I was able to leave my quarters and go over and just check on her, and poor thing was very overwhelmed with it all, rightfully so. It was horrific, like I've said. And so I just, assured her that it was going to be okay. And so I decided to stay in the room with her and Jensen.
So Bethany came in, then I said, I don't know what I'm going to do if Jensen throws up. I'm not exaggerating. At that moment, Jensen started crying and he had thrown up.
Jensen wakes up crying. He's sleeping up in a little like kid sleep tent thing. I go over to his tent and I could kind of smell. I just like unzipped his tent and stuck my hand in to try to find him, and stuck my hand directly in vomit. Yeah, so that at that point, turn the light on and make Sheridan aware of the fact that Jensen's down now. I'm trying to spare her as best as I can, and I'm just like, can you go get some cleaning supplies, because Jensen's vomited in his tent now. And so she's like, okay. And I tried to clean it up with a little rag that was in there, and while I turned around to talk to her and give her those instructions, and she went off, and then I turn and look at poor sweet little Jensen. He's laying on the ground with a rag in his own vomit, going, clean up, clean up, clean up.
Such a sweet child.
Heartbreaking. But we got him out, got him cleaned up and settled, and moved on with our night.
So we got to talk in between our throw-ups, and I told her that I thought we needed some ginger ale, and she told Sullivan, and at 1:30 in the morning he was gone out to the store and got us some ginger ale and Gatorade, and it helped me a lot. But I think she might have just been getting sicker. And anyway, about 1:30 was the last time I threw up. 3:30 is when I actually left that Grand Central Station.
And I got the stomach virus and threw up a couple of times. And then I got apparently very dehydrated and like passed out twice in the bathroom. And I was just laying on the floor and thinking, I wonder if I'll just lay here until someone comes and finds me, and maybe they'll have to take me to the hospital because I cannot get up. And then I finally got enough energy to make it back to the movie theater room to Sully.
Yes, well, I was just barely managing to fall asleep before Allison came in, and my last thought before falling asleep was, I'm the last one up. I'm probably going to be down when I wake up. I should probably go ahead and figure out how to call a nurse to take care of everybody when I'm gone, because there will be nobody else left. Anyway, that was my thought, and then I fell asleep. And then when I woke up, Allison was dying.
Yeah, so what did you do?
The natural thing to do. I panicked.
So I asked Sully for water, and he was like, okay, I'll get you some. And then he suddenly like couldn't move because apparently he just had a panic attack. So he was like kind of paralyzed. Poor Sully. That didn't sound like very much fun either, even though throwing up was also not fun. And so he was having a panic attack, but I really needed water. So I asked Sully to text Sheridan, who was one of the few remaining, and so he did.
I walked in, Allison could barely talk. Sullivan was like shaking and kind of holding his stomach, so I didn't know if he was about to like throw up. Talked to them, got them what they needed at that moment, and then went and grabbed Bethany.
Sheridan came down, much to both of our relief, and she saved us. She went back up after she saw our state and got Bethany, and Bethany came down and was very calm and very knowledgeable, and she said I could go to the hospital if I wanted to, but she didn't think I would need to right yet.
At some point in the night, I get woken up by Sheridan, like, hey, Allison's fainting, or has fainted a couple times, and Sullivan shaking uncontrollably, and just something's not right with him. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, I get up quickly, and I'm like, oh no, what in the world? Allison's laying down on the couch, and luckily by this point, she was able to talk and communicate, so I wasn't super worried. I tried to just encourage her to drink water and stay hydrated, and try to get her some Gatorade so that she could have some electrolytes. And we needed to locate Sullivan, and finally located him and just encouraged him to go get some fresh air and walk around for a minute. I think the sight of his wife, in such a bad state was just a little much for him, understandably so. So he was having a bit of a panic attack. He was great. Before that happened and after, but before that happened, he was like making runs to the store at like 1 o'clock in the morning to get ginger ale and Gatorade. Like,
nothing beats going to Wawa at 1 a.m. because every other person in the house is sick and can't go get Tylenol, and all the Walmarts are closed, and oh my, there's crazy stuff
shout
happening.
out to Sullivan. He was definitely a lifesaver.
Around 3 in the morning, Sheridan suddenly appeared in our room. She said that they were making rounds, she and Bethany, and they were checking on everyone and seeing what we needed. Did we need Gatorade? Did we need ice chips, water? And Timmy and I both asked if we could just have some ice chips. And it was so sweet of those girls who were surviving it to be up at 3 in the morning caring for the rest of us. Beautiful memory. Around 5 a.m., the door opened abruptly, and it was Pat. And she said, Joy? And I said, yes, ma'am. I was afraid. I didn't know what she was getting ready to tell me if something terrible had happened. She had 2 glasses of ginger ale in her hand, and she said, y'all have to drink this. This has made me all better. You've got to drink this. So we quickly woke up and we drank the ginger ale.
I got better about 6 o'clock the next morning, I think was like the last of it. Sully got a fever, but he never threw up, so.
And then after that, all of the food was gone, and that's just the worst. Like nothing comes out, but it's like the gag reflex, but not the gag reflex, it's the throw up reflex, but nothing's happened.
So then we just made it through the rest of the night. I think the rest of the night was like mostly uneventful. I mean, for Jensen, woke up a couple other times during the night and wanted to watch tractor shows. And so I encouraged him to dream about tractor shows instead. which made him talk about tractors all night long. Blue tractors, red tractors, green tractors, bulldozers, cement trucks. We heard it all. It was exhausting because I wanted to sleep, but it was also very cute.
So then eventually I was like, okay, the only option here is to just let go of my intestines so that they can come out, because clearly that's what they want to do.
I make rounds to check on the elderly and the children and just everyone, you know, multiple times, but it was very, very rough. And the next morning, all the kids were obviously well, so that was great. They had bounced back really fast. We made it through the day going outside because the back patio was the only place where you felt like you could breathe, but we made it through the day and people started to recover slowly but surely. I just definitely could not have made it without my team. I want to thank Meredith for holding down the children's wing. She was incredible and could not have made it without her. And then Sheridan for helping me in the ICU and the elderly. It was a pleasure serving alongside you during this hard time.
Growing up on vacation into a trash can is depressing. However, it is significantly better when you are growing up with your favorite person in the world.
Trash can.
How's it feel to be the last one standing?
Might be
Scary.
standing a little too close to everyone.
Yeah.
6 feet here.
Just now, but it could actually be from something that was like a day or two before.
What has the last 24 hours been like for you? Memorable. Harrison.
Endless joys. Vomited 4 or 5 times. I barely slept, but my Megan was there the whole time.
I started with stomach ache. Too much, so I just watched Harrison throw up for a little while, and then I threw up twice. Thank you for sharing. Jensen ran towards you, and he slipped on the ibuprofen bottle, and it flew under the couch. What have the last 24 hours been like for you?
I'm sorry, I can't talk about it right now. We'll just have to try again later. I'm sorry.
You could try as many pieces as you want, and you're just going to try to chew it up, and then when you've got a bubble,
Raise our hand.
we will.
She's excited to chew gum, but not blow bubbles. She wants everybody to know.
I hope we don't throw up tonight.
Oh, that's very good.
What flavor is this? What does it taste like?
On, let's see. All right. Oh. Wow. All right, look at that. That's a good one. That's a great one. All right. Is that your bubble? Anything for this? Oh.
Look at the bubble
Yay.
with the
Nice. Very nice.
wow.
Very nice. Oh, wow. That's a good one. Wow. Good job. Good job. Yay.
Look, she's looking at you. No, she's not. She's looking at the side of the foot. Here.
1 Corinthians 13, verses 1 through 8. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, the gift of prophecy, and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. Things endures all things. Love never ends. Good job.
So with all this terrible sickness and the mental games that this, you know, had on you, how many years of therapy do you think you'll have to go through to get through this?
Years? I mean, I think it's gonna take decades.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. It was really such a pleasure, and I'm just so sorry for all that you had to go through.
Yeah.